This here's a song about making the right choices for the long term and the future. When I was a kid up in Grand Rapids, grew up by a place they called MP&L. They burned up the coal and provided the power so we could all plug in and light up the hill. Well, the coal trains would rumble right next to the river till they made it to Blackwater Lake. You could look out at night or look out in the daytime to see the big clouds that the smokestack would make. If the wind was blowing right on a midsummer's morning, you could see the dust all over the yard. It would be in the bushes or out in the garden. Most of the time it was on all the cars. And Daddy, can you help me try to remember the way that it was before MP&L? Well, I'm sorry, my son, but there's no turning back now. The coal plant is built and there's power to sell. Well, soon I grew up and moved away from Grand Rapids, put down my roots in a place called Jerome, where the people liked music and took pride in their city, for better or worse on whatever would come. One day we were told that the power's too spendy and that we should get ready for a change that's to come. 'Cause the DM&E is coming right through our city, loaded with coal, and we should get some. But the town started thinking about building a coal plant and supplying the power to all of our friends. With all that cheap coal we could get from Wyoming, cover our costs justifying in the end. And Daddy, can you help me try to remember the way that it was before MP&L? Well, I'm sorry, my son, but there's no turning back now. The coal plant is built and there's power to sell. Now I'm happy to say that New Ulm started thinking, and they got together and talked about the plan. We started by asking all kinds of questions about what this would do to each woman, child, and man. So the time did come to think about what we were doing before we got too far to turn back. We made the choices that were clearly much better, that didn't involve buildings or smoke blowing stacks. So if you're facing a big uphill battle against big money and you're feeling depressed, just remember that you indeed have the power to change up the future and make it the best. Daddy, won't you help me try to remember the way that it was before MP&L? Well, I'm sorry, my son, but there's no turning back now. The coal plant is built and there's power to sell.